So today I'm reviewing two of the more premier, I guess the most premier bow sights in the game. Hey guys, Kevin here with HuntSource. So today I'm reviewing two of the more premier, or I guess the most premier bow sights in the game. We're talking the Axcel Driver and the UltraView. So this one is the Matthews bridge lock sight, but they do have a Gen 1 and a Gen 2, and a lot of the Gen 2 has pretty much the exact same features as this sight does. So most of what I'm going to go over today is the same or is relevant with the Gen 2 sight. So these two sights are not cheap. If you're not looking to remortgage your house, don't buy one of these sights. If you don't mind spending $1,000 on a sight, I paid for both of these sights. They're $1,000 each. You know, maybe look at something else. The Spot Hog Boonie, you know, it's probably a little less than half the price. I think it's around $550, $600 Canadian. I am going to be reviewing that sight, so we'll go over that on another video. But these are both really, really good sights. Axcel and UltraView did a great job with both these sights. I'm going to be talking about what I like, what I don't like on each of these sights, and at the end of the video, I'm going to let you know what I would spend another $1,000 on in a sight. So first of all, let's talk about the driver. So one thing I really do like about this sight is how easy it is to adjust your second and third. Or no, on this one it's actually only a first and second axis, so you just loosen these two bolts with an Allen key, take another small Allen key, make your adjustments there, and it adjusts as needed. It's not like on the landslide you'd loosen it and you'd have to, you know, use two hands and really be careful when you're tightening. The housing didn't move left or right. This way you just use the set screw and it does it for you great. The third axis, however, is the same as the landslide. You got to be careful when you're doing it there. I love the shield on the scope. Allows you to dim or brighten your pins accordingly. Definitely some improvements over the landslide. I mean, it still has its zero stop here. I love the zero stop on the landslide and the driver. This to me isn't in the best spot. I think, you know, they could have put it in a little better spot, if you ask me. The wheel is nice, rubberized wheel. One thing I always did on the landslide is I would take, you know, you get those little toy ATV cars. I would take a tire all the time, put it on there, just because my hands would always slip when I was grabbing that wheel. So they did upgrade to this wheel, which is nice. Same thing on the, you know, it's got the same windage adjustability. This time it's on the inside, so you just, the same thing. The mechanism, locking mechanism is really nice. It doesn't have, like, it's very limited on the chances of it coming loose or moving on you. You just push it in to lock it, move it out to make your adjustment. This one's the 3-pin, 0.19, love that. Love how clear the housing is. I like the 3 pins. I do like how easy the sight tape is to read when it's sitting on your bow. You know, it's the angle of it is really good. That being said, you know, it's very similar to the UltraView. No, I like the driver. I like what they did. They made the rail long enough so you have the ability to move your scope in and out off the riser as much as you like. For me, I like it out quite a ways, so I do like that. Yeah, all in all, a lot of the things I do like. Definitely some improvements on the landslide. I am going to be doing another video between this and a landslide, and if you already have a landslide, is it worth the upgrade? So stay tuned for that one. But the UltraView, this one has a lot of really nice features. So this wheel is absolutely a game changer. This is probably Not probably, it is the smoothest, easiest wheel on a sight I've ever used. So it's got the locking mechanism here that just flick that up. You can do bigger gang adjustments, push it down. You can still move it, but it's really, really tight. The only down part about that is maybe it might have the ability to move a bit. It doesn't lock tight like the driver does. I never experienced any issue with that, but again, I haven't been hunting with either of these sights throughout the fall, so we'd have to see how that holds up. The windage adjustment on this one is, again, probably the best I've ever seen. This just, you can hear it clicks out, pull it out, make your adjustment, left or right, push it back in, super simple. Like, to dial this sight is absolutely amazing. UltraView did a really good job with this sight. I like the housing on this sight. It's nice, small, shorter than the regular UltraView scope. 5 pins are really nice, considering, you know, I don't know if I'm a fan of the 5-pin or the 3-pin yet. I'll have to get back to you. I'd have to hunt. This year I'm gonna hunt with a 3-pin. So I'll see how it is. I mean, the 5-pin might be a little crowded, but that's hard to say. The light, really nice. One thing in this scope doesn't have that the traditional UV scopes have is the level light, but it does have. This is a rechargeable light. You just take off this plastic piece. There's an Allen key. Pop this off, plug it in, and you're off to the races. You can also change this cartridge out. Put a single pin if you want, 3-pin, 5-pin, 3-pin, single pin, whatever you like. But it's more money, right? I don't know how you just spent $1,000 on the site. I mean, some guys don't mind it, but I don't know. That's a lot of dough once you start messing around with that stuff. So same thing. This one has the first, second axis adjustability. You just loosen, micro adjust with another smaller Allen key. Really like that. This one too, you can take it apart for transport. That's super slick, like that. You know, this is a really nice sight. It's light. It's a lot more durable actually than I thought it was going to be. I was skeptical of these sights. I thought they would be, you know, for how light they were, and you know, they kind of just look cheap. I didn't think it was going to be durable enough, but I mean, I'm hard on everything, and it's held up so far beautifully. There's one little thing that broke we'll get into later. You know, both of these sights have the metal plates for your sight tapes. You can use those or just the regular sticker sight tapes. I like the sticker sight tapes myself, but that's personal preference. But yeah, all in all, I mean, this sight has a lot of nice things. You know, one thing I don't like is the short bar. Don't like that. They should have made this bar a little longer so you have the ability to move it in and out. Now the Gen 2 has the same bar, has the same rail. It has the Picatinny mount, and it also has the side mount, so the two bolt holes. I don't know how much more ability you're going to have to move it off your riser with the side mount. I'd have to see. If you know, comment below, let me know. Yeah, another thing I don't like is moving the pins. This one, compared to like the Axcel, you just loosen the whatever pin you want to move. So if you want to move the top one, you'd loosen that. Where's that one there? Right there. You loosen that Allen key, turn this, move it up or down, lock it, do your second pin and your third pin. That is awesome. When you're sighting in your pins, that's the best thing ever. Especially if you're really, really picky like I am. You know, you want to just be able to get it to that exact point that you need. With this one, you know, you loosen it, you move it, and then you tighten it, it kind of moves off its point a little bit. And if you're shooting at, like, you're doing your 50 pin, man, 50 yards, a little tiny bit is a lot, right? So that's one thing that if they could change that, that would be good. What else don't I like about this one? Oh, the zero stop on this one wasn't very strong. It broke off right away. Like I said, I'm not easy on things, and it just broke. I over torqued it, it broke, but you know, not a big deal. It does still stop when it gets to the top anyway. It just doesn't have a zero stop now for your 20 or 30, whatever, wherever you zero your housing at. I wish it had more indicator pins that it came with. This sight doesn't. I do believe the Gen 2 does. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe that it does. Yeah, I mean, other than that, it's really the only things I don't like. I mean, if they did have it so the level light lit up, that'd be cool. That's one of the things I liked with the UltraView scopes in the past, or their regular scopes, I should say. Not in the past, they still have them. But overall, this is a great sight. Now, things I don't like about this sight is I definitely don't like the lighting system on this. Like, you have to get an attachment piece, screw it in there, and now as you can see how far it's sticking out, you might be able to get a smaller light. I couldn't find one anywhere. If you guys know of one, please comment below. I'd love to figure out where you can get one. You know, the Axcel, they do have the ability, you do have your ability to move the angle of your scope, which is really nice. That's something Axcel, sorry, has always done really well. This wheel could be a little bit thicker, you know, more like the thickness of the UltraView, in my opinion. I think if they made this a little thicker, a little more bulky, beefy, it'd be easier to move. For me, my hands kind of get in the way. So if you had even bigger hands, I could see that being a real problem. One thing I don't like about the landslide, the Achieve, or the Driver is every once in a while, this piece right here comes loose, and like you have to, there's two little Allen keys, can you see that in there? You have to tighten those every once in a while. It drives me nuts. I don't know why you have to do that. I don't know why they can't just figure out a way to make them tight, put some Loctite, because you don't ever have to take those out unless you're doing some major repairs. But this one too, very smooth flowing, very easy to maneuver. The bubble, nice and small, really clear. You know, overall, just a really good sight. I don't like how they put the windage adjustment on the inside. You basically have to, if it's on your bow, put it on the bow here. So when you want to make an adjustment, you literally have to turn the bow around and do it this way. With this sight here, let's fit in here. Oh yeah. With this sight here, basically, it's just like that. Super easy, super slick. Like I said, I love this sight. Basically, you're just sitting there, ranging, moving it like this. Whatever you need to do, it's all right here in this hand. It's super easy. You can look at your pins, you can look at your sight tape, whatever you need to do, and move it. I love that. So, you know, one thing, like I said, with this one, that's the one thing I don't like. Is probably the thing I least like about this site is to do that now. I have to turn this around. I can't just sit here and do it. I'd have to reach over and do it, and it's kind of a pain in the ass too. This top, the locking mechanism for the housing up and down, it's kind of the shits too. You know, something down on this side, maybe with your finger underneath, kind of like the old landslide, would be a little bit better, a little quicker. So you can just toggle it here and then move it. One thing I did like about the landslide, what I did is I just loosened that Allen key, and then I moved the handle out, and then I tightened it so it actually sat on a little more angle like this, so it was easy for me just to move with my finger, right? But a great sight. Like I said, these are both really good sights, really easy. I do like the zero stop on the Axcel. It's very similar to the landslide, kind of a little bit of a bitch to get to, but like I said, it's not a huge deal. I wish the wheel was a bit bigger. I think that's one of the biggest things. And if they could somehow switch the windage adjustment to this side and do something for a built-in light, like an internal scope light, I think would be great. But the micro pins, I love that. Yeah, overall, a great sight. Now, I'll take this off. One other thing I want to talk about here. One thing I don't like that Axcel does, it's not just the driver, it's their landslides as well, is they need to improve their bracket. So if you're using like a tight spot, first of all, the bolts that thread into these here, the thread bolts that thread into here, trying to do everything backwards, so those bolts, they do not fit, I'm trying to work around this, they do not fit into the mounting hardware for the tight spot. And I love the tight spot quiver, I do. Again, like I talked about in the last video, I don't want to go out and spend another $250 on a Hoyt quiver. I'd rather just be able to have a quiver I can use every year over and over. These bows are expensive enough. So I don't like that. And also one thing I do notice, this is unique to this site. It's not an issue with the landslide, is if you can see here, do you see, might be really hard to see. I'll see if I can get in there, try to get some light. So you'll see this rail, the bracket, I'm trying to do everything backwards, it doesn't sit tight. The rail actually sticks out further than the mount. So if you wanted to put this on here tight, you'd have to grind 2 little grooves in here. Little things like that drive me nuts. I mean, is it a big deal? No, it's not a big deal. I mean, other than the fact I got to go out and spend $250 and buy a Hoyt quiver, it's not a huge deal. So, anyway, if I am picking one site to spend another $1,000 on, it would be the UltraView. This is probably the best site I've ever used, minus a few little things that I talked about. Now, that being said, I am going to be using the driver site. Why? Because I've spent $1,000 on this site. I've also spent $1,000 on this site, more or less. That's what these sites cost. Landon is going to be rocking this site, so I mean, he's going to love this thing. He's a killer too, so there's going to be definitely some animals going down with this site. Super excited that he gets to use it. I don't have another $1,000 to buy another UV sight for my X2. Now, if I did spend another $1,000 on a site, I'd probably be single, and I really wouldn't have to worry about how much money I spent on any of my hunting gear, other than the fact that I'd probably be bankrupt. Because let's face it, guys, if most of us were single, we'd be buying a lot more hunting gear than we already do, and that probably wouldn't be a good thing. Anyway, I'm going to be using this year just because I have it. I've already spent $1,000 on it. Lando's run this one, so it's not going to waste. It's golden. Anyways, guys, if you are looking for a site and you don't mind spending a lot of money, that's my thoughts and opinions on both these sites. I think if you went with either site, I think you're going to be very happy. I think Once I use this one a little bit more, I'll probably get used to the features of it. But like I said, for now, for my experience, I've shot about the same with both of these. I'm gonna go with the UltraView. Till the next one, guys.